Today we'll be breaking down how Apple is responding to the current market. Is Tim Cook going to get fired? And we're going to get into how Solana is all part of this. My name is Paul Barrett. Welcome back into the show. Let's go for it today. I do want to thank our sponsor, and that is Coinbase, a place where you guys can go out there and start your crypto journey with Bitcoin at an all-time high. Maybe now is the time, guys, for you guys to get your first trade in, and you can do it on Coinbase. Use our link down below. Get up to $200 to get started. So use the link. It does help the channel. Let's go over to a couple of things that are happening within the Apple ecosystem. One of Tim Cook's possible successors is now leaving Apple. That's Jeff Williams. But they're starting to see an exodus also with their own team. Meta, of course, is also in the race right now. $200 million offer to Apple's AI engineers. This is all blowing the minds of a lot of people. And of course, you have this situation. Apple should consider replacing Tim Cook. This is a big deal, and this is coming from one of the biggest analysts out there. I want to go to the clip that kind of explains their thesis. Take a look.
First of all, it wasn't much of a reaction at all because I think investors have already been talking about this at the institutional level. If you just listen to any Apple's earnings call, positive comments and the easy questions that get asked on these earnings call, they're never challenging a management team. But when you look at the institutional investors, this has been something that's been discussed more recently. I wasn't expecting to talk about Tim Cook today, but when I saw some headlines today of other analysts, oh, this is not going to be disruptive to Apple. I'm like, well, wait a minute. They should be looking to disrupt the company.
Do you think the stock would pop a fair amount on that, or how do you think it would be received?
I mean, I literally got an email from one of our institutional investor clients who was questioning that the stock may in fact go up because of this kind of discussion within large institutional investors. I mean, they effectively fooled investors last year at WWDC, making them believe that there was a path to AI, which when none existed. Tim Cook talked about, oh, we've had this great integration with ChatGPT. No, you haven't.
Apple is underperforming significantly both in hardware and really getting things going. Here's another clip, because as you start to threaten Tim Cook, this is a big deal to Wall Street. Take a look.
Say Apple should consider, I don't like this story, replacing a longtime CEO Tim Cook in favor of a more product-focused CEO, since his lack of products has been so bad for the company and the stock over the last 5 years.
My reaction was kind of the same as yours. Like, we could go on and on and on how he just kind of took the ball from Steve Jobs, carried it, and ran away with it. First $1 trillion company, first $2 trillion company, first $3 trillion company. Yesterday, okay, NVIDIA got to $4 trillion first. Fine, fair enough. But I can't think of anyone else who is more capable of handling these geopolitical things. Look how he handles China. Look how he straddles all these geopolitical tensions.
He's a great operator.
He's a great operator. World-class, the best operator.
Well, operations is not where it's at. And of course, that's coming from the guy who actually built the dream. Consider that to what Steve Jobs said back in 2010. This is when they actually flipped Microsoft. Apple is and was on a tear at that time, but really at the boiling point of it was really just to get back to work and build some good product. And I think that's the thing. Right now, Tim Cook is not a product guy, and that's what they're going to need. If you look a little bit further, this is kind of proving that he's not a product guy, because this is just a blatant lie. There is no way that Apple Vision Pro is back on the market. By 2027, there's going to be so many new products in the market that it will embarrass Apple again, much like what they got embarrassed around Apple Vision Pro. That, along with what's going on with Samsung, who is saying, hey, wait a minute, we make great phones, but we're not interested in going in the AI route. They've given the keys to Google. Here's Tim Sweeney actually dropping their case against Samsung following some discussions. Most likely, my guess is those were good discussions, and Tim Sweeney starting to realize Samsung's, hey, we're in it for the hardware. And that's a good thing, because I think as you look at that, along with where the rest of the market is going, the next real hardware win could be right here in the crypto market from Solana and the Seeker phone. And remember, we've talked about this phone. It's really the evolution of what we're going to see, especially as we start to see dApps and things like that roll out. I want to go to a clip real quick, because this will get into a little bit more of why this phone might become a little bit more iPhone-like. Take a look.
The Solana Seeker. From just holding it for a little bit, this, like he said before, is definitely more iPhone-like. Saga is about the size of an iPhone, which is really big. It's like that 5E, 5C, 6SE iPhone, which is really fun. With the Seeker, they have the new SKR token. We've never seen Ethereum drop their own second token, right? This is the actual Solana verified, second token coming from them. So who knows the stuff that'll bring.
I would agree. Who knows what it's going to bring. So when you take a look at DeFi Llama, you can kind of see their app revenue. This, of course, is one of the largest out there in terms of chains. So the opportunity is real. When you compare this to traditional markets, look at the size of this market. This is a global app. Now, this isn't Google, this isn't Samsung, any other. This is just Apple's 1.3 trillion in billings in 2024. So there is all they have to do in terms of being able to capture some of this market going forward. A lot of this could really start to change things. 400 devs, though, and founders have officially signed up to compete in the first on Solana. This is basically going to be a hackathon to try to build dApps to where it starts to go into the rollout phase. And this is happening between July 1st and August 4th. So that is right up to the release of the phone. Could we get some big surprises in the dApp side of things? If you compare that to how Solana really got on the map, remember, the original saga was all because of the BONK airdrop. And if this is going to happen again, could we see something very special with BONK starting to play in that? Remember, this is the thing that has really made the Web3 ecosystem when it comes to mobile so unique, is because it has the capacity to connect these meme coins, which are great marketing engines going into where, and that's really what saved the Solana saga, was when BONK started to do that. And it really shifted the strategy of a lot of these. Look at Solana Floor. This is, of course, showing the rewards. So remember, this is the phone that has not released yet, and these are all the airdrops and their values that have not even been done yet. So I imagine we are going to see a lot more going into this. The value of this phone, just based on airdrops alone, could end up paying for itself again, just like the saga did originally. All right, so when you compare this to other ecosystem advancements, Pump.Fun proved that memes were more than just jokes, because everybody was hating on this. 4 billion in cultural engine now. So again, all this riding on Solana. And even that, in comparison to other legit companies, everybody's starting to move in this direction of memes and the ability to do airdrops. And I think that is the bigger picture here when it comes to mobile. And all of this ties back to Apple. They have done none of this. And when you think culture, you got to also think gaming. Off the grid and guns is starting to move over to Solana, and most likely we're going to see airdrops on Solana coming in from guns. So look out for that one. Other things you got to look out right here is Swift for AI agents. Now this is kind of interesting, because when you look at agentic commerce protocol, what it mainly means is that you have an agent that's going to be able to direct other agents. That's already starting to happen within virtuals. They have this new feature that is a Butler that essentially initiates agent action. So imagine this is where it starts to attack one of the core elements behind Apple, and that's Siri. That's the voice command of the Apple ecosystem. Now what you've got with agents is 1,000 Siris that are actually working in unison. So think about this, guys. You could tell an agent to go out and make me money on an exchange, go out and do certain actions within social, different actions within productivity. All of that is going to start to talk with other agents. That's why virtuals could be something very special. We continue to watch this one as it continues to fly. Other things that are happening out there right now is tokenized stocks, and this one is going to continue to get interesting. Right here is Amber Group. This is the first Asia-based public company that is now tokenizing their own stock. And of course, you can kind of see this on Apple, Tesla, NVIDIA, all available on StockX. This is, or XStocks, which is going to start to really push more and more into the Solana ecosystem. So watch for Solana as we start to get forward here a little bit. Let me go over to the chart real quick, just to give you guys a quick look at Solana. Right now, starting to come up. Of course, this is during Bitcoin's all-time high, over 113K, and Ethereum starting to push to 3,000. So one other token we'll take a look at, obviously tied to virtuals, is Game. This has really started to see a significant improvement. And if you look at that in comparison to what's going on within the ecosystem of Apple by itself, right now, Apple still in sideways action and in a bit of a panic, I think, right now, because we are going to see maybe an evolution here around technology, especially around mobile devices. So stay tuned for all that. If you guys are not in the Diamond Circle, make sure and get in on that. It's a great place to get additional content. Follow me on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on The Paul Barron Show.